Zion Lutheran Church is a fellowship of believers in Akron, Ohio. Established in 1854 by the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, Zion became an early focal point for German immigrants in the downtown area of the fledgling city. Largely fueled by the rubber industry, Akron's population grew from 3,400 in the 1850s to more than 300,000 by the 1920s. Likewise, Zion thrived in those early years, founding an elementary school that ministered to children for several generations and only recently closed in 2003. In the 1970s and 80s, Akron suffered from the decline in the rubber industry. Akron's population also declined during this time, and it has only been during the past decade that the city has worked to reinvent herself for the 21st century. Now the hub of regional government, professional business, and higher education, Akron's downtown has become a much different place than it was more than a century ago. Zion, too, has changed. Although a smaller Akron brought diminished attendance, Zion's spirit has remained strong, and her desire for outreach has been rejuvenated.
There was a time when the school was closing when everybody felt a little discouragement.
I think at that point we started a serious emphasis on prayer.
It had been a very good outreach all those years, those 140 years that it had been here.
We could have just given up and closed the doors and said, okay, that's it, we're done. But instead we've kind of retooled this building for use outside of a school.
We needed to identify new ministries.
We've got a great facility here, a great building, and a lot of opportunities to use it for God's kingdom.
What we've tried to do is use the space now in a way that will be good for Zion and our outreach programs.
So to have all of these rooms, to have them in very good condition, to have all these facilities, I think it's a great opportunity for anybody coming in.
We have a lot to offer to the community, to the people.
Now that we don't have a school, we could use these rooms for any kind of ministries, any kind of ministry that a new minister can imagine.
Part of the call team's job was to find out what the wishes were of the people, congregation here at Zion. There were questionnaires sent out.
Then we simply asked people 5 questions.
We got just over 100 back, which I thought was a good turnout, good response.
Many people commented on outreach.
That's what I think we need to do more of. That's where I see Zion going, is to the outreach to the downtown Akron area, because I think we have so much to offer.
We are a loving and a caring congregation, and we do reach out to one another. Now, what we have to do is take that one step further, and is to reach out to those around us in the community, and I think that will come.
And one of the things that we learned along the way was that we didn't know how to do very much, and our best bet was going to be to partner with people who did know what to do.
We got connected up with Pastor Jeff Johnson from up in Cleveland. He has kind of come in and turned around a failing downtown church that was similar to Zion.
And Jeff volunteered to, take us under his wing as part of building hope in the city, and we've been really excited to have a part of that.
He gave us the vision of looking outside of our doors.
What is God's desire for us in this community? Is there something that He wants us to do that we're not already doing?
We identified the Channelwood community, which is a low-income subsidized housing area. We identified the homeless. And we also identified the Akron Pregnancy Services.
In our new partnership with them, of course, we are now the home for the Lion Players.
A great part of the ministry is the arts that we use in communicating abstinence and purity of lifestyle. And so for us to have the opportunity to have a space with an auditorium, with a stage, a classroom, which is, as you can see, it's a good-sized classroom, And the third room that we could use as a cafe gave us the opportunity to create what we saw as a coffee house atmosphere, and that would attract young women and young men so that we can work with them and teach them in the areas of relationship.
Channelwood kept coming back to us over and over again.
And when they heard that we were going through a visioning process and looking into ministry in downtown Akron,
we were welcomed, and the Lord opened a door, and it became very apparent to us that we were supposed to be there.
they said, our children need something to do. Would you come and do children's ministry? So we've had a wonderful, wonderful experience working at Channelwood. We go to their community center once a month. We have a sort of a vacation Bible school style day with the children. And 2 summers now, we have jumped into full-scale 5-day VBS with these children.
You know, a lot of the families don't have male role models in their homes, so we want to involve as many of the men too as possible and show relationships with men from Zion.
And as we work in Channelwood and are making these connections with families in Channelwood, we found that it would be a perfect place for the tutoring program, which is going on in Cleveland, to be expanded into the Akron area.
And we felt that was a way to get a better relationship, a one-on-one relationship with children from Channelwood in a tutoring environment. A lot of them struggle with reading and math.
Literacy is probably the top focus of the program.
It's amazing that just 1 hour a week can make a difference in a kid's life. From the statistics that we see, we need to learn how to do church and growth here in downtown and not just fly to the suburbs, because that's where people are starting to move back into the urban areas.
Musically, we can look to see, okay, what is it that is going to move this vision forward? We need to be responsive to the people who are coming into the church.
The other thing that I'm involved in is children's ministry. Right now the Sunday school is not real big, but there's a lot of potential. We have from kindergarten all the way up through into high school. What we want to do is give kids nuggets of truth that they can hang on to, things that are, you know, truths from God. Come up with different goals for Sunday school versus kids' church. Sunday school, we're trying to teach them the Bible stories and memorization and, you know, the standard Sunday school, the crafts and things they can take home. In kids' church, we're trying to teach kids to worship and what worship is about and application.